some coffee.
Hey guys, welcome to Theo's Garage. What we're doing today is changing implements on our Kubota L3800 tractor. We have the backhoe attachment on right now, and since it's been raining so much and the sun's out, well, the grass has grown tall, so we got the bush mower on it, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. What we have here is our 3-point hitch arms. We have the holder for the middle arm. Yep. So this will be the left arm. This is the middle that helps you raise and lower the 3-point hitch. And this is the right arm. I have this on it to help hold them together when I put the implements on. And I'm going to show you all this on how to do it. But first we got to take the backhoe off. It's pretty simple. We move it over and make sure when you take it off that you have something under it, because if it goes and sits on the ground, things are going to rust. Okay, here we are. We got the Kubota. We got to take the backhoe off, get it started, and go. Okay, what we're about to do is take the backhoe off. What you want is kind of a flat piece of area to put it down on. And I always put it down on a wood block or something to keep it up off the ground. To do the backhoe, all we got to do is we're going to put the stabilizers down. Just to hold the back of it up. Don't put much pressure on. These 2 pins are the only thing that's holding the backhoe onto the tractor itself. So what you want to do is use the stabilizers. You want to use the arm on the bucket to raise and lower it back and forward. And this raises it side to side with these 2. So if you're on level ground, you can pretty much just go even with these 2. And then what you want to do is just take enough pressure off where you can feel this starting to move. And then it just comes right out. So you got the pin out, and you got another pin on the other side, and we do the same thing. What I do is I go back around the tractor. Okay, what I do is come back around the tractor, and I go on this side, I pull this pin up, out of the bottom. You don't have much pressure on it, which it does right now. Okay, so there's a pin that goes in. I'll show you right after this. But this pin locks it in a place where it can't move side to side. So you pull this pin out, take the pressure off the back of the arm. You might need to do some adjustments, lifting or letting down. But all I do is keep a little bit of pressure on it. You might need to go forward and backwards with your arm. And it relieves the pressure off this. And it just comes right out. Take a pin out. Now what you want to do is lift this whole piece up. So put your stabilizers down, it lifts up, kind of here, pop out a little bit, and you're unhooked. So what you want to do is you want to angle the bucket. You want to let the pressure off the bucket, so the back end will pop up like this. You can see how the whole assembly moved forward. And there's these catches down here, and they just lift right out of that catch. So now I can go ahead and just pull forward. Don't go too far, just enough where you can reach the hose. Now you can go ahead and shut your tractor off, because you do not want pressure on these hoses when you're trying to release. They won't come out. What I do is I go ahead and move the bucket all around, so make sure there's no pressure in the hydraulic system. It's off. I got the parking brake on, got the bucket down so it won't move. Now I come around and unhook the hoses. These are your standard hydraulic fittings, and they get pretty greasy, so you're going to get greasy doing this if you want to wear some gloves. So what you want to do is you want to push this back, pull, and you got one of the hydraulics released. And on this side, you want to do the exact same thing. Unhook, push this back, pull this out. Now you got your hydraulic hose released. You want to put it back so it makes a loop. So now it's a closed system again. And what I usually do is I put this one back into here. I've had some problems if I didn't have it sitting on something. When I tried to release, it would go ahead and it would lock this up. It put so much pressure on this, it would start settling. It put a lot of pressure on the hose, and I couldn't get it off. So you have to let it settle. Or you put blocks under it, you let it settle down onto the big wood blocks, and you're good to go after that, because there's no pressure on it and you're easy to take it on and off. Alright, so now what we need to do is put the 3-point arms on it. And the, I'm going to show you some pins over here. Alright, excuse all the mud. We've been working on this thing. So, you can see where the attachment is. This bottom goes into the bottom bracket that's on the tractor, that's built into the frame. This is your pin that you put through, and you have to do fine adjustments to get this loose, but it's really easy to push in when you got it into the right spot. So there's little bitty adjustments you need to do. But once you do, you put this in, and you see this ball right here, this bar. See this bar? Well, there's 2 holes behind it. So what I do is I put this in, put it into this pole right here, and that locks it in, so you can't go backwards and forwards. And I'll do the same thing with the other side when I put this back on. So I have the tractor here, put it through the hole, and now it's locked into place. Okay, now we're going to put the 3-point hitch arms on, and you only need 2 tools. And I keep these in here. You need a 14mm and a 10mm. The 10mm is for the cross brace. And this holds your middle arm. So once you put this in, you put the middle arm on here, and it holds it up out of the way. The 10mm is just for the 4 bolts on the sides. This actually has the holder for your triangle, so you can drive down the road. I always keep the nuts or the bolts inside of this. So I always have them. And this, the cross brace just goes between your fenders. Put these, line the holes up, put these 10 millimeters in. And on this side, there's two 10 millimeters you can see in here. If you look up under here, this is where you put the two 10 millimeter. And this is much better when you do it with a ratchet. I'll start them off by hand. But you see how it has this angle brace here? So you pretty much have to have a ratchet. You can't do this with a box end wrench. It'll take forever. Even the adjustable ones. Get these bolts started. Get them in. Take your 10 millimeter, tighten these down. They don't have to be got awful tight. I haven't had one come out, and I just probably only put about 20 pounds on them. Not much. They don't need to be super tight. This cross brace, it's not load bearing. It's not going to stop your fenders from caving in on you or anything. It's pretty much just a hold. Okay, I leave all the pins and the pin holders in place when I put the backhoe attachment on. That was the way I don't lose them. I could put them with the arms themselves, but I like to keep them with the tractor. And what we're going to do is we're going to take off all the hardware right now. You look here. We'll take the pins out from the washer. That's for your left arm. There's the 14 millimeter. This is the bottom holder. This is your middle bar pin. Take that pin out. Your 14 millimeter. Undo this, and I find it easier to try to get this out, not just pulling or anything like that. I slide it back and forth. I grease these really good. I use some lithium grease, something that's not going to wash off because these will kind of seize in here. So I keep these greased pretty good. So I take that side off, take everything off the right side. It's just a 14 millimeter. Slide it back and forth, pull it out. Take the other pins off. Keep your hose out of the way. Alright, so we got everything apart. Now we just need to grab an arm. So I'm going to grab the left arm first. Get the left arm. What I like to do is put the top of the left arm on to the adjustment bar. So what I do is I lift it up, place it on, put it in, and then I go ahead and put the one with the washer on it. I go ahead and put the washer, put the pin in. So now when I want to put the bar in, I can just move it back and forth really easy. So what I'm going to do is take this bar, this likes to get caught on the ground. So you got to move this up, because this is going to attach in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this bar on. Make sure it's flush. Go ahead and put your 14 millimeter bolt back in. Tighten this down. Then again, this doesn't have to be deathly tight. There is a lock washer on it. Okay, now we're going to hook the side-to-side stabilizer on. So we've got a pin that goes through, and so there's a spot for it here. And what I always do is I take the pin, go from the outside in. So there's no room to get it from the inside out. So I put the pin in, I face the hole toward me. There is a washer that goes on here. I lost it at some point, so I'll just use a pin. This is a pretty thick pin, so it holds it in place. There. And you can see how this keeps an implement from coming too far in this way. When you got them both together, it locks it into place. And you tighten it down with this turnbuckle. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the right arm this time. Grab the right arm. The exact same procedure we did on the other side. I'm going to lock the top in first. Get this placed in the right place. On this side, I'll go ahead and undo this. Keep it by your work area. Slide it on. Straighten the ball. What I usually do is, when I have this all off, I go ahead and grease the inside of here, inside of the ball. The nut on. Pins in. Make sure this is locked into place. You want to keep your hose out of the way, because this will rub the hose. As you're going up and down with your implement, this will go up and down, this will rub. So what I usually do is I put like a zip tie or something in here just to hold this hose out of the way. And as you can see here, I have this bungee cord, because what I do is I'll wrap it around here, and it holds the arms together. When I'm trying to put an implement on, the arms like expand. So I use this to hold these together so they're not rubbing into the tires. You know, swinging back and forth trying to rub into the tires. Okay, I'm going to put this side pin on. After I tighten this nut. Bolt down. Again, don't have to be definitely tight. Okay. Put the other turnbuckle brace on. It's kind of tight in here. So I kind of get it started, lift it up, goes in, face the hole towards me so I can see it, put the washer on, and I put the pin in. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. You see the pin, put the pin in place. Now this is locked in, it's not going anywhere. Next is for the middle bar. It's really simple. Get your bar. I had this loose at one point, so what I want to do is put my bar in, put your lock pin in, put it onto the holder, and we are ready to put the bush hog on. We got the 3-point hitch installed. You can see there's side-to-side movement. Got this, put it on here, helps lock it in, hold it into place a little bit. So it's not just swinging around while you're driving to get to your other implement attached. I go ahead and take my tools, put them back. And at this point, you got a lot of grease on your hands. No point in washing your hands now because you're going to put the bush hog on. And there's more grease involved. Okay, I got some white lithium grease. Everything with the tractor is grease. You're supposed to do, I'll just spray everything down with some nice white lithium grease. I actually do this before putting implements on. And now you can see why I put the bungee cord on. It actually holds these arms in together a little bit. So what you probably need to do is adjust the arms in before you back up into the implement. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take the pins out. Spray the pins really good. They've been sitting here for a week or so since the last time. Pins out. So now you can adjust this up and down. So when you're doing this by yourself, you have to make sure this is on a very, very flat piece of land. I usually put it on some big 4x4s or something like that, just to make sure I keep it level. And it's so much easier once this is level, because you got both of these arms and they go up and down together. There is some adjustments where you can adjust an arm separately, but it's much easier just to bring them both up at the same time, put your pins through and go. It's never that easy. Never. But this bungee cord helps keep them in together. You might need to adjust your turnbuckles a little bit so you can get these to come in. And what I'm going to do is, as much as possible, now I'm going to get them both to come to the inside of these buckles. And if you're a little bit off, it's fine. Get one pin in, then you can get your other pin in. So I got this one ball here and it's turned, so you can still move it up and down and adjust it. Some tools usually comes in handy here. If you got your turnbuckles too tight, you want to go ahead and release this. So I have the arm too far out on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen this, relax the turnbuckle so I can bring it in some. And all I use for this is a pair of channel locks. So you don't need a whole lot of tools. Channel locks works wonders. Loose. Loosen this up. Get my attention on it. Tool for these. And it's a lot easier to loosen these up before you back into it. Too. We'll get started. Turnbuckles. You can use a big screwdriver. I'll take this off one of the cars. There's many ways to loosen these turnbuckles. Once you get it loose, you can just do it by hand. Let's get to this point. Can't fit anything in there really good. And I got this really loose. And the tractor's too far forward. Okay, now we got everything in position. We got the turnbuckles loosened. There's a lot of play. We're in between, so we know we're in about the right spot. So we can go ahead and hook up our PTO. You can see our PTO right here, and there's the PTO guard on the back. Go ahead and take the PTO guard off. And you want to make sure your PTO is nice and lubed, so it's back and forth pretty easy. And the U-joint here, you want to make sure that's lubed. And you can see this is the catch. This goes back and forth. So once you keep it back like this and you push it forward, it's easier said than done by yourself. So what I usually do is I go ahead and get it started on there. So make sure it adjusts. I line it up, push it forward. Adjust it, and it kind of slides on. Once you get it sliding on, you pull this back, you push forward again, and now you hear it lock into place. Your PTO is locked. You want to go ahead. Now you can put your arms in to the hose. All I need to do is, I backed up a little bit too far. I'm going to pull up a little bit further. Trick is getting one side on first. Get one side on first. Come over to the other side. See, it's not lined up all the way. And there's a little bit of finagling to this. So I usually put the pin in. And I'll start to pull up a little bit. I still have the brake on it. Now pull up, look kind of drag the other side. So you're kind of lined up. So I use this pin to help me line up the holes. And then you can actually lift this a little bit. You got a little bit of play in here. So I'll lift this up, put this in. Ball straight. This is why it's really important to have it on level ground, because it's hard to get these pins lined up if it's not. The more level it is, the easier it is to put these pins in. Once you got it kind of lined, boom, it's in. Now you put your middle attachment on. Depending on your adjustment, which this one's adjusted good. If it's not, you can turn your buckle back and forward. You just need a little bit more to get it to go in. Okay, now what you want to do is retighten up your turnbuckles. What I do is I get it on a nice flat piece of ground that's not going side to side. Then I do my adjustments with the turnbuckles to make sure it doesn't flop back and forth. Make sure the mower's straight with the tractor itself. And I tighten all the turnbuckles up. And that's it. Greasy.
Right.
Okay, here's where we want to do the turnbuckle adjustments. You want someplace nice and flat. Keep the mower lifted a little bit. We use a rotary mower here. We got a bunch of rocks. I'm not using a finish mower, so we got a rotary bush hog. What I'm gonna do is, I have the turnbuckles loose so you can see it moving side to side. So what I want to do is I want to line it up with the tractor. So I got it lined up, look on both sides, make sure this is sticking out about the same width on each side. Then I'll start tightening up the turnbuckle. to be deathly tight. You just want them snug so it doesn't rock back and forth too much on you. But you do want a little bit of play. Because if you do hit something, you want it to give a little bit and not rock the whole tractor back and forth, and you don't want to bend your rotary cutter up. So you want a tiny bit of play left in it, so it's not going to be deathly tight. A little bit of play. Tighten the turnbuckles. Tighten the lock nut. A little bit of play. It's not going to swing to the side and hit the tire. And we got the rotary adjusted. We're ready to do some cutting. Let's do it.